Gregos here. I just started this video and I only got 8 Gregos here and the battery went flat. Woo, that's life in the fast lane. So where are we now with, what car is this? Some of you may not know. If you're a recent subscriber to the channel, then you'd be like, what's this car? You're gonna have to go back. So it's called Project Car-ma. Car-ma as in C-A-R-M-A, but it could be the other Car-ma. So good karma coming for this car because we're giving it a new lease on life. It was a little bit rotten in places. Well, I suppose technically it still is a little bit rotten in places, but we're getting through it. So this is the panel from what's the name of that company? You know the one, Respairs. So it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Solid metal at least. We've just got to get this boot lid to line up nicely and along the back there. Probably mentioned it in the last video, but yeah, this edge is a little bit rounder than the factory one. Was a bit sharper. So yeah, so Andrew's already taken care of that arch on this side. It's pretty right, and where the LP gas was, where it had the second filler, that's all been filled up. So we're lucky on this that any sort of, yeah, there's a little bit of warpage there, but it doesn't matter because you have access to the back. This is what people don't realise. It's like, you see it all the time where they're doing a nice bead with the TIG all the way around. You'll notice that that's always in an area where you get access to behind it. So hang on a minute. Am I still recording even? Auto exposure. Yes. Okay. Cool. Yep. Still recording. Oh, I must have hit a button. So, you know, say this combi, for instance. Say we weld in a panel across there. This is what they call a wheel arch, and you can get. They always rot on the bottom, and you can get a panel that finishes about here. You know, there's virtually zero access behind it, so you get a little bit across there, but most of that's all tucked away, can't get there. So that means that you've got to weld that to the best of your ability without any warpage, and then grind the welds down and put a bit of filler over it, and happy days, rust is sorted. But on this sort of thing, you've got access on the inside of the boot to where that's been welded. Oh, sorry about the exposure. Can't really see that great there. But I can hammer and dolly it. So I said, weld to your heart's content. We don't worry about a bit of warpage because that's going to happen with the heat from the welding. Yeah. Anyway, so we had access to there. This arch is a bit of a dibble-dabble mess, so I think Andrew's going to cut that out because I can feel behind it that it's very ordinary. The bottom of this is not too bad, so it's just a bit less work on that side. But you can see, the bottom of that door has been staved in, so hopefully I can push that out, but that still is a bit of rust happening there. And obviously, like, we've already done, driver's door is all body worked and epoxied and like basically ready for high fill primer. That guard this bonnet is already sorted. But yeah, the owner came and took the dash out. So now we've got to concentrate on around the screen here, cleaning that up. It's actually pretty good along the top. I've been watching a bit of Jake's Chop Shop. He's down in South Australia, works on a lot of Commodores. Very entertaining sort of bloke. I like his style. You know, no bullshit, just gets the job done. It's not all perfect, but gets them done enough to still call it a good job. So, but he was saying about these panels because the angles aren't quite as, yeah, you can even see it here. It's like chalk and cheese. Nice sharp crisp line here, like a fold down, whereas here it's like completely rounded. So he recommends to only take what you need from it. So cut this right across here, and just take off the part that's rusted. So that's what we'll be doing, because he does a lot of Commodores. They're obsessed. I think there's a new channel called KC's Panel and Paint. Same deal down in South Australia, and oh my God, they love their early Commodores. So, and the VLs for them are like the pinnacle of Commodores. Anything after a VL was just rubbish. So, yeah. So this is what we're up against. Overall, not a bad car, but just needs some love. Oh, okay. When I say not a bad car, we better come around and have a look at this here. So, forgot about this, but yeah. Yeah, so we definitely got some floorage to work on. It's been getting a bit wet. So, get rid of the wiring there. There you might be able to see. So I think, yeah, that's part of the sort of the frame or something. Yeah, so basically Andrew's going to be hand forming a few patches up there and obviously in there. Don't know how much you can see on this camera, but it's gonna of course it's got this bloody soundproofing layer on it. So yeah, he'll just cut that back, get rid of that layer, so that he's got some clean metal to work with. So, you know, Andrew prides himself on being able to weld rust to rust, but you know, that's a bit of a running joke, because you know, everyone knows you can't weld rust. But unlike like sheet metal guys and whatnot, fabricators, they're dealing with brand new metal all the time, and everything's perfectly clean. This is the schnizzle, because it's a little bit harder when you've got to find the place where, what you call, you know, where the metal is clean. You got to cut away what you need to, but you got to keep grinding until you find clean metal to weld to, and that's half the battle. So we have the gear to fabricate whatever pieces, bend, fold, planish, wheel, whatever we need to do to make the shape. Yeah, so we'll obviously use thicker stuff on the floor, probably some 1.6 zinc or something like that, but we normally use 1 mil or 0.95 cold roll for making our own body panels. So just so you know. Right, so the back panel was stitched in ages ago because that was all completely shot. Andrew's blown some black zinc over it, some primer, but that'll be removed and that'll all be TIG weld. Yeah, so this Commodore will be very tidy indeed by the time we finish. It looks like quite the project and a bucket of something, but it will be all good. Trust us. Trust us. So yeah, he's done a good job, because that arch was a bit of a mess, and he hand fabricated that. If you go back in the videos, you'll see that that's what has happened there. And he stitched it in, and he looked at it today and said, well, it's pretty good, not perfect. I said, that's what this car's about. As I said in the last video, this car, 253 in it, 4-speed, is going to be towing a caravan around, probably around Australia. So there's no point in saying, oh God, you could have done that better. It could be it could be file finish. It could be a bloody Summonats car. It's like, whatever. This is the OG family car from the past, from the 80s. And there was a time not that long ago where these were worthless. Even if they were a V8, they weren't worth much at all. Time has changed, and these now, especially if it's got the tags for a V8, are worthwhile spending the money on. They're worth it at the end. So that's all I can say about it. To us, metal is metal. We can repair it all the same. The owner is going to put the car back together once we present him with a beautifully, you know, painted shell. He came and pulled the dash out for us, which is great because that gives us a lot more access to everything. Yeah, so that's I guess if you're looking from the outside and don't know the full story, then it's you know, this looks like a bit of a mess, but it'll be worth it. We're not charging the earth on this. We want it to see how we go. You see the shadows, so you get the right lights and you just see the shadows. That needs to be dressed down a bit. So anyway, neither here nor there. So sure, it'll have a little bit of filler in it, but it won't be over any rust or whatever. It'll all be nice solid metal, have a skim, block it, and then we can make it look as nice as anything else. So yeah, that's where we're at. We'll talk to you later.
Hello everyone. Alright, today I'm going to do a time lapse of this repair here. Obviously the section for the glass. Bit hard to see, but basically it's a double layer. So you've got the inner that's got to go along there, and then an L piece for the outer. So I'll do it as the factory intended in two pieces. So I'll do the inner first and then the outer. Yeah. The only thing I'll need really for metal shaping wise is this old reliable shrinker and stretcher to get the curves in there. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Riveting video footage, I'm sure it will be. Anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so what I did so far, made up the plate. I sprayed some Chemtools Galmax Fast Drying Cold Gal Paint Zinc Rich. I only bought this because it's well through primer. I prefer to use copper, but it's hard to find, impossible to find in Gatton. I'd have to go to Toowoomba or even Brisbane to get copper spray, so that's fine. Right. So now I just gotta bloody weld this in. So I'll be getting it sit it where it needs to be sit, and then just using a hammer and like tacking this the bottom edge first, and then tacking just tacking on the top once I grind this back. So yeah, anyway, that's it so far. Woo. not. Been TIG welded all the way. Definitely turned out good. The issue is some right here. The panel, this piece here sunk down as it was meeting with the piece I just there. I'll be able to see it. Yeah, see there's a bit of a dip right there. I was going to cut it out and then like wedge it up, prop it up and then weld it, but I just decided to use the thick rod. I use both 1.6 and 2.4. 1.6 for the bulk of it, but if I accidentally blow a hole somewhere and it's too big to fill, I'll switch over to this, and I just put massive amounts of bloody rod to make up the gap anyway. So yeah, turned out good. So I'll just get it all cleaned up and move on as soon as I gotta weld that up there, but yep. Alright, let's do it.